But you can also see why people think they see ghosts.
Oh,
Because there's Elliot's reflection in the
tile.
But let's say I was looking at a wall over here or something, and I saw a blue spot. I would want to follow that up with a moisture meter.
Oh, wow.
If it's really wet, it starts beeping. Concrete moisture meter you can also use on tile with a infrared thermometer. Being an ex-cop, I treat it like a crime scene.
Oh, nice.
I try to find, okay, where's it coming from and what needs to be done to fix it.
Yeah. So you're like a mode detective.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
My name is James Peevahouse, and I'm a realtor in the greater Nashville area. In the world of real estate, it takes a variety of professionals working together to help you close your deals. In this series, I want to reveal all the experts involved in making your real estate dreams a reality. Welcome to Real Estate Revealed.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we get to hang out with Kevin Jones. He's an expert in the commercial and residential restoration business. He's been in this business for over 23 years. Today we get to check out his facility, and I'm excited to show you all about the restoration business. Kevin,
What's
how you
up,
doing?
man? Good to see you.
It is so good to see you.
Man, looking forward to this.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun today.
Awesome.
We're gonna talk a little bit about you. We'll talk a little bit about your business.
Well, that'd be boring, but
Not at
maybe
all.
we should talk about you in real estate. That'd be a lot more fun.
You know what? It is a wild world in real estate.
Yeah, you can have it.
How long have you been out of the real estate game?
Got out last May, so almost a year.
Okay.
Off and on over the years, I've been in over 23. But now I don't do the work, I'm just on the teaching and consulting side. But hey, man, I'd love to show you my classroom.
Oh, you've got a class for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go check that out.
All right.
Let's go.
Come on. This is it.
Perfect.
And this was a garage.
Wow.
That we came in and we worked on the floor and got it ready and quilted it and then put the carpet in and we repainted everything.
Wow. Let's sit down and talk for a little bit.
All right.
It's been a while since I've seen you, actually.
It has. It's been at least, what, 24 hours?
At least 24 hours.
It has been.
I used you as a realtor back in, I think it was 2018.
Somewhere around that time. We met at the chamber.
We did. We met at the Hendersonville
Chamber.
And
shout out to Kathleen for
there
that.
you go. But yeah, so we met there, and then I used you as a realtor, and we got to know each other really well because I did look at a million houses.
It was fun though.
You're not originally from Tennessee, right?
Negative, no I'm not.
Where are you from?
Eastern North Carolina is where I was raised.
Okay.
About an hour from the beach.
Nice.
We moved here in spring of 2008. In fact, May will be 14 years. The first 2 years I didn't like it here at all because of the land lot, but now it's home.
Yeah.
I always said the only way to get me to leave is to let me have a home on the beach and guarantee it never gets hit by a hurricane. And I don't see that happening.
That doesn't happen.
I'll stay right where I am.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I love Tennessee. And of course, I was born and raised here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
Savannah.
in my blood. Yeah, I was from Savannah,
Yeah.
Tennessee. Glad you remembered that.
Yeah. I was a police officer for a while, and then I did insurance for a couple of years, and then Melinda started. That's my wife. She started a residential cleaning service, and I came in and helped her expand it to the commercial side.
That's awesome.
And we got into restoration by accident.
Really?
Yeah, and then it just took off.
Cool. So then when you came to Tennessee, were you still doing restoration in Tennessee?
Not the work. I came over here, I took a position with ServPro at their corporate office as an instructor.
Yeah. Oh, as an instructor?
Yep.
So that's when you started teaching it?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Which is what I wanted to do, and that was the best avenue to do that. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, and ServPro is huge. That's nationwide, isn't it?
It has. I've been all over the country teaching classes. I've only got 4 or 5 states left to visit. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
When you were doing real estate, you were still doing restoration
Yes, I was still
even then.
teaching at ServPro, yeah. And then that ended, and I worked for a small company for about a year, and that didn't work out, so I started my own school.
Your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just where we are now.
Yeah, this classroom, again, this is a great setting. I'm excited to, I would love to just come by when there's students here and see it full. That'd be fun.
Well.
Again, I get nerdy about this stuff, so.
Well, that's cool. You're welcome anytime.
Awesome. When you're teaching classes in here, what are some of the topics you guys talk about?
Well, the things I teach are water damage restoration. So like when you have a water damage in your home, how it's supposed to be handled. All right. I also teach a class where we actually do a hands-on flood of a home.
Wow.
But it has to be, you know, an approved place. It can't be just any place. I also am bringing in people for like a public adjuster class, rug cleaning classes, mold remediation classes, trauma and crime scene cleanup.
Oh, wow.
Commercial drying. So I'll be offering all of those.
Now you mentioned the flood. So I remember, I believe it was Waverly, Tennessee. Has that been a year now? It's been a while back.
Yeah.
They had a ton of houses get flooded.
Yep.
So is that kind of what you're talking about? When a house gets flooded like that, you can go in and drive?
Yes, yes. And I could probably still do one, I just don't.
Well,
but,
I meant
but
teach
yeah, I
somebody
know
how
what you
to.
mean. Yeah, teaching them how to do it. But the difference with that type of situation is when it's a flood water like that coming from a rising river stream, a lot of homeowners policies don't include that.
Oh, wow.
So you have to have flood insurance, which is an insurance agent sells you, but it's backed by FEMA, so the federal government. So
Watch our last episode to learn about flood insurance.
there you go. Did it?
It did actually. We talked a little bit because we were looking at a peninsula.
Yeah.
And obviously if you wanted to build a house right there on the edge of it, you'd have to have flood insurance.
Absolutely.
If you were borrowing the money. Let's go to the kitchen. I'd love to hear some of these loud machines run.
We can fire them up.
That'd be great. Let's do that.
All right, man.
Let's go.
Cool. Okay, so James, here's the kitchen, and this is
Yeah.
some of the equipment we talked about.
Of course.
Meters and stuff like that. But this is a dehumidifier. There's different types. I won't go into all that. It's used to help control the moisture in the air to help dry out, you know, materials and stuff like that. You may not always see this on a job. This is we call it an air scrubber. The proper term is air filtration device. And it's a HEPA unit, so that if you're concerned about soils, contaminants, stuff like that, you might have something like this in the job. If you're not, you probably won't have this. It can be used in different types of jobs where we do it with what we call negative pressure, where like would contain this room off if this was a contaminant, either have lay flat ducting attached running out the window or into another room. So it pulls, call it negative air, where it pulls everything into this location so we don't contaminate everything else. And this is one of many types of air movers. It's called a radial. It's just small, low profile, so it can be used in tight areas. But people are finding they've only been around probably 7 or 8, maybe 9 years now.
Okay.
Before that, the ones are bigger and bulkier, and they still work fine. So, but the biggest problem, like I think I said back in the classroom, was people turning equipment off.
Right.
Now, this one is not too bad.
Yeah, it sounds like a refrigerator or something maybe.
Yeah, and it works on it's got refrigerant in it.
Oh, well,
So
there
it
you
works
go.
on the premise of condensation.
I knew that. That's
Somewhat
why I said
like
that.
That's right,
Yeah.
exactly. This would be your air scrubber if you had it on. Higher you take it up.
Yeah.
But then where people really get a little bit perturbed with the noise is when you turn these bad boys on.
Yeah, it starts to get kind of loud.
Yeah, so if you did the math that's required to figure out how many of these to put in here, you'd probably end up with 4 or 5 of these in this room. Then we've got other cool tools that you'll see that people will use. This is a thermal imaging camera. It's one of the basic ones. This measures temperature differentials. Now, I was one of those that when these first came out, I thought they could see through things. I was like, are they really
Like
safe
an
to
X-ray.
use? You might be able to looking through somebody. But it just measures temperature differentials. And water cools things down. So great tool to use, but not the only thing to go with. And you can see like right there, tile is usually cooler.
Yeah.
But you can also see why people think they see ghosts.
Oh.
Because there's Elliot's
it's a
reflection in the
tile.
tile when there he is actually. It's set so that your blues, greens, and purples are your cooler temperatures, and your yellows, reds, and oranges are your hotter temperatures. So that would tell me, now I know it's tile, so it wouldn't, but let's say I was looking at a wall over here or something, and I saw a blue spot. I would want to follow that up with a moisture meter to make sure that it's water. It's a non-penetrating meter, so it's safe.
Oh, wow.
If it's really wet, it starts beeping. And we won't go into all the real details on that. Concrete moisture meter you can also use on tile.
Oh, nice.
And it measures it in percentages rather than other things. And then you can follow that up with a infrared thermometer. Being an ex-cop, I treat it like a crime scene.
Oh, nice.
I try to find, okay, where's it coming from and what needs to be done to fix it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it may be something very simple, it may be something very complex.
So you're like a mode detective.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. No, but that goes back to what we were talking about when you talked about doing this, was that a lot of people are now, a lot of realtors on the high end are getting people to come out and do all these different tests to confirm that a house is safe and free of this and free of that. And I don't think you need all that unless there's a reason.
There's
that
a reason.
You want it.
Yeah.
Like maybe a home inspector finds the grade is off, so maybe you need to consider putting in French drains or something. Mm-hmm. Maybe you find water damage, or you smell that musty smell. Okay, then you might want to have some mold testing done.
Right.
But just doing it to make people feel better, I think is, to me, I could be wrong, but I think it's kind of a waste of money. And
right, because even though you make them feel better, the next year there could be a problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I got other equipment set up out back in the classroom if you want to see that.
I'd love to see that. Yeah. Like I said, I'm here to nerd out. So let's do
nerd out.
All right.
All right, so coming from the kitchen back into the classroom, these are some tools that you might see in a home. And then most often, some of this would be in the kitchen, to be honest with you, but it's just a lot to lug in there.
Of course.
This is called an injector dry system, and it's used for drying hardwood floors, even some tile occasionally, natural stone, those types of things. Back in the early days when I was in this business, if it was a hardwood floor and it got wet, you tore it out. You can't do anything with wood. But then we started learning, you can save it sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I've got this not set up as ideally as you would, just to show the different types of hoses you can use. It's not hooked to the machine. This is not quite as loud as some of the things in there. It can use what we call negative or positive mode. So negative means it's pulling water out of a wall or a floor or something. Positive means you're blowing air in. So if you're pulling air out and you're concerned about odors or contaminants that may be in a wall or under a floor or something, this is a HEPA filter.
Nice.
And it goes to where it's coming into the unit so that it's pulling any of that out so you don't get odors and stuff in the house. This is another injector dry piece. This is an infrared panel. These are relatively new, about 2 or 3 years old. Heat is a great thing to use for drying stuff out. And this puts off pretty hot temperatures in this area and maybe just a few inches outside of it. So you could put, and you see it hooks right into a wall. It doesn't use a lot of amps. So you could hook several of these up like on a tile floor. One more thing I got here, this is called a directed in. There's all kinds of tools out there. The air mover I had in there, the little flat gray one, this would hook on the snout of that.
Oh, cool.
And then you can blow air into walls, up under cabinets, into toe picks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is not equipment, and there's obviously a lot more equipment out there.
I'm sure.
Is how to tell if you got hardwood floors or laminate floors.
Oh.
All right, this is a piece of hardwood, it's 3/4 inch. 3/4 inch can be dried and saved better than 1/2 inch, but if you've got laminate, most likely when it gets wet, it's gonna start falling apart on you. So you're gonna end up having to replace it anyway. But if you've got extra pieces like in your attic or some storage area, which most people do, just take it and flip it over. If it's got flutes, it's hardwood.
Really?
If it's flat like this on the bottom, it's laminate. That's for air and moisture to pass back and forth through this thing.
Really?
While it's on the floor. It helps it stay longer and last longer.
Wow.
And keep its integrity. That's about all I got in here.
That's wonderful.
As if that wasn't enough.
Now with flooring, let me ask you this. A lot of people are doing the luxury vinyl flooring that's supposed to be scratch resistant and waterproof.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? What does waterproof
It's good
mean?
stuff. It is waterproof, meaning water will bead on it or not
It won't
go through
penetrate
it. The problem is around the edges.
Yeah.
That's how water gets under vinyl floors. Like vinyl is what we call a vapor barrier, so you don't get water through the vinyl, and that's why that's popular. What you're talking about is vinyl tiles. But water gets in around the edges of the floor, and then it'll seep and wick into the wood or the concrete or whatever. And then it becomes an issue, and that's usually got to go so you can dry the subfloor.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, cool. I had no clue, but that's awesome.
Anymore.
I think you.
I can go get the book and look at the answers for you.
I will just come to one of the classes.
There you go.
How about that?
Come on.
Awesome.
Want to
Yeah.
learn how to do it?
And that's the cool part. I mean, being able to come in, sit down, and learn all of this stuff. And again, I don't think people think about this side of
They don't.
real estate. I mean, homes are valuable. It's probably the biggest investment you'll ever make for most people. And unless you're Trump, you know, but he still needs it on his tower, right?
Absolutely, that's
Everybody
right.
needs this. This is huge. And
It
so
is,
I'm
it
really
is.
glad you had time to stop, talk to us about it, and you were very
Well, I appreciate
informative.
it.
Any final thoughts before we head out today?
Just have a good day. Go
That's
sell
it.
some houses.
Oh, all right, let's do it. All right, thanks again.
Call James.
Thank you for watching this episode of Real Estate Revealed. Be sure to like and subscribe and click the link to watch our previous episodes. We'll see you next time.